Hey guys, I've just been into TOGF. I think it's the right time right now to do kind of like a little overview of the tower. Now I'm gonna try to make this as least biased as possible. Obviously some bias is gonna shine through from my experience. Okay, it took me 30 plus streams, but I'll try to be subjective. I'll try. So yeah, I'm really close to 10k, so please sub up. And yeah, I have nothing really else to say. Let's go. We're starting off with flow-on, and we are not starting off with a good start. I'm not gonna lie, I think this is one of the worst flow-ons of any tower. It's just extremely boring and inconsistent at first. It does get slightly more consistent, however, two jumps in particular, this one right here, and the conveyor jump, I still failed quite frequently, even though I was consistent. And yeah, this is not a good start to the tower. The floor is just extremely boring for the most part. Aside from that, I guess the floor isn't horrendous, but even despite that, I still do not think this floor is very good. An extremely unfun start to the tower. 1 out of 10. Floor 2 I do think picks up a little bit. It's still not a good floor, but it's definitely better. There's still some extremely bad parts, like this part right here with this one jump that just doesn't work sometimes. Thankfully it's netted though, but it's still really annoying. And also this stupid cylinder ladder, like me, Camille, Oliver, we've all beaten this tower and none of us have found a consistent strat for this. I don't even know if it exists. The strat I'm doing right now on screen is the best one I found, but either way it's still not very consistent. Thankfully, however, neither of these two choke points actually take you back to flow 1, which is good. It's just loop fail, which makes it kind of unfun. And yeah, the rest of the floor is honestly, it's not good. It's not like horrendous though, it's just okay. 3 out of 10 for this floor. Well, floor 2 picked up the gameplay, floor 3 drops it all the way back down. The floor begins with this part, which is pretty easy, honestly. But the main bad part of this floor is the outside. After doing some extremely unfun gameplay, you get a button, and you have a choice to do this, like, high cadder part, or just drop down and do some more floor 3 gameplay. You know which one I did. Obviously, I did the easier one. And then after that, you have the outside. Now, while the outside does get consistent, it's still garbage, okay? These two jumps, there's not, like, a particular strat, they're just really hard. And what sucks is you have to go through floor 1 and 2 every time you fail these. Also, this low cylinder jump ended up being the worst jump for me because I just couldn't get it consistently. There was always like a 10% chance of me just failing it. But the rest of the outside after those two jumps is pretty easy actually. But yeah, this floor is not good, but after the consistency, it's, you know, it's kinda playable. 2 out of 10. Floor 4 is garbage. The floor begins with this stupid netted part. It's so unfun, it's insane, and you pretty much fail it like every run. After doing this garbage, you get to this jump, which is really hard. Thankfully, there's a strat, but even if the strat's not 100% consistent, and you may have to redo the walk around part again. After that, you get to this part, which this part isn't that bad like at the start, like the first few buttons. I did fail a few times, but you know, it's not terrible. But then you get to this walk around, which I swear just doesn't work. I ended up just skipping it, I don't really care. But these are the main bad jumps. You need to do this like specific heli power strat to make it consistent. If you're trying to go for fully legit or don't have heli, okay, this part's just complete garbage. As well as this GBJ part, which is also really inconsistent, especially the first jump, which I did find a strat for, which made it easy, but just make sure to practice this part. You're gonna suffer a lot more than you need to. Past that though, floor 4 is honestly not too bad. We do have this jump, which is really, really hard, and this jump, which is just kind of bad. But after you get past those, the floor does get a lot easier and less bad, I'd say. But still, with that gameplay at the start, it's not good. 1 out of 10. Next we have floor 5, finally a decent floor. It's a big break after the first 4 floors, not just in terms of like the gameplay being better, but also it's just way easier. It's widely considered the easiest floor, and yeah, either this or floor 10 are for sure the easiest floor. Now I will admit the button placements are kinda trash in this floor, like, well some of them are obvious, and others are just like, why? But yeah, honestly the raw gameplay of this is fine. There is this one jump right here, which is kinda suck, because sometimes you just won't grab the ledge, but besides that, it's fine. There's also a GBJ part, but the GBJ part is all skill-based. Like, it's just, there is a possibility of failing it, but it is skill-based at least. But after that, honestly, this floor is pretty solid. It gives you a very well-deserved break after the first 4 floors. Honestly, like 5.5 to 6 out of 10. It's a pretty decent floor. However, this is where decent floor stops. Floor 6. There's a lot of complete RNG gameplay, like a bunch of loop fail, and also this conveyor part, just RNG as well. This floor is also notably harder than every other floor, like pretty much everyone that's been in this tower does agree this is the hardest floor. However, I don't want to completely hate on the floor just because it's harder, because the gameplay I do think is a bit better in the first half. Like for example, this jump, while it's really hard, it is completely skill based, and it is kinda cool honestly. Also, I don't know if the foster sticker was consistent, like, I just feel like sometimes it lets you in, sometimes it doesn't. I don't even know. Oh yeah, and you also have this garbage part on the outside, which good luck doing this if you don't have heli powers. Without heli powers, it's just complete garbage. But yeah, while this floor is a big difficulty spike, the gameplay is nowhere near as bad as the first few floors. 3 out of 10. Okay, now floor 7 is complete garbage. Basically, this floor is just loop fail. You have the 3 challenges where you can actually fail. Mainly the pink one's the one you need to worry about. This one is pretty failable. I did end up failing a few times. It's like stupid low jump part. However, it's not too bad though. Next we have the dark red one, which also isn't too bad. However, the one we can fail all the way down is this flick, which isn't actually that hard, but sometimes it just breaks. No! No! And right after that follows this jump, which also is kind of bad. Then we have the black one, which once again isn't too bad. I mean, it's okay. I'm not gonna say it's good gameplay, but you know, there's only one GBJ jump, which is the one right at the end. And there is some like stupid squeeze jumps, which just don't let you in sometimes, but you know, it could have been worse. Then we have the bullet hunt, which is just complete garbage, okay? It's just complete filler gameplay. If you don't have a guide for this, you're gonna spend like 5 minutes, 10 minutes even finding the bullets, because none of them make sense. And while it's easy with a guide, yeah, doing this blind, it's not fun at all. Then we have this one with like the mirror fake block gimmick, whatever. This one's just filler, to be honest. It's not very hard. It probably will take you like a minute. Then, however, we have the flick one, which is also complete garbage. This flick one could take like a few tries or could take 20 freaking minutes. Like, it's like high kata gameplay. And also the ladders just kind of drop you sometimes. The entire challenge is just ladders and it's extremely inconsistent. Yeah, this challenge sucks. Then we have this one, which is also complete filler. There's this one jump which kind of sucks. And this one, besides this one really hard jump for no reason, is also filler. And after that you go to the big blue one. The big blue one also sucks. This part without heli powers is just garbage. And then we have this thing where sometimes you hit your head on the roof, sometimes you don't. There's no way to predict it, so that's fun. Yeah, while this floor has like very little punishment, there is quite literally no point in this floor. It's just a waste of time for the most part, so that's why I'm feeling a 0. Thankfully, this is where the tower picks up though. Floor 8 is probably the worst of the last 3, but once again, it's not terrible. We have this first jump, which I stupidly failed a few times. And these elevators, which are fine. Also, good luck doing these elevators without T-pose. They're really hard without T-pose. But with T-pose, they're pretty easy. After that, we have this wrap, which gets consistent. This wrap, which also gets consistent. And after that, the rest of it's pretty much complete filler. You have this part where you just do nothing against the corner. At least that's what I do. I mean, avoids all the obstacles. Then you have this part, which is complete filler. And then the last part, which is also really easy. Literally just all jump this part once in practice and you're not going to fail it, trust me. Unless you do something stupid. But yeah, this part is really easy. And yeah, that's floor 8. I think it's the shortest floor of the tower. Honestly, it's not good, but it's not like that bad. Nowhere near as bad as the others. So you know what? I'm going to give it a 4. Floor 9 starts with this infamous outside. The outside is very overrated in its difficulty. I think the only hard part of the outside is this flick right here. Past this, it's pretty damn easy. We have this timing part, which gets your nerves up, but it's extremely easy. We have whatever this is, and then we have the can wrap, which is really overrated. And after that, you're already 9 inside. Yeah, 9 outside is extremely easy, honestly. Then we have 9 inside. First we have this part, which is kind of filler. It's really easy, but yeah, it's just like, what's the point of this part? Then we have some really easy gameplay. Like, these elevator bouncy things are just so easy. You don't even have to practice it, just look. The first major roadblock is this jump right here, which I recommend you do the strat that I'm doing right now. Then we have this flick, which is scary, but not too difficult. This exposure part, which is complete filler. And then we get to the 2 major bad wraps of the floor. Thankfully, I only failed this part once. But yeah, these 2 wraps are extremely difficult. This jump, I ended up failing once. It kind of sucks, but it's not like terrible. Honestly, it's a solid floor. 5. Then we have floor 10. Floor 10 starts out really good, actually. All of these wraps are skill-based. Okay, there's no garbage sphere gameplay. And actually seems like Fedoric put time into this part. Now, it's also really easy. Like, after everything you've done in the tower, floor 10 is pretty much just like a joke. Aside from that, this part's extremely balanced and extremely fun. If it was just this part, then this would be the best floor of the tower. Then we have the net part. Now, I know it's a net, but this net part is just garbage, okay? There's no point of it being in the tower. This jump's inconsistent, this jump's inconsistent, and this jump's really inconsistent. This part's just complete filler, and yeah, it's just, I don't know, there's no point of it. I guess I can't complain too much about these parts because, you know, you can't lose your progress on them at least. But yeah, that's about it. You get to the win part here, and that's floor 10. But yeah, I'm gonna give it like a 5.5 as well. But yeah, that's the tower. Overall, I think this tower is very bad. For like, the first half of your grind is just loop failing the first 4 floors, and the second half of your grind is just loop failing floor 6. That's pretty much it. That's what it was for me, at least. Overall rating of the tower, 2 out of 10. Thank you guys for the video. I'm off now, and yeah, see ya.